Hi and welcome to the Digital Camera School. Today's module we're going to be talking about light metering. Now really, to understand this, you'd have had to done the module on exposure triangle, or just an understanding of the exposure triangle. Because what we want to do is, even though we have an understanding of the exposure triangle, we can still produce pictures like this or this. But what we want to do is produce pictures like this. So how do we get there? Well, the exposure triangle controls the amount of light going into your camera. But just like when you're driving a car, you understand the clutch, the brake and the accelerator. But when you're going along the motorway and you get to see a sign for going 80 kilometers an hour, you look at your gauge and then you know you're going to 80 kilometers an hour. For this purpose, what we have to do is, if we look at our camera at the back or through the viewfinder, you will see a gauge with 3, 2, 1 on one side, minus 3, 2, 1 plus on the other side, and a 0 in the middle. Now, your job is to get that cursor where the arrow is pointing to in the middle of your camera. And to do that, you adjust your ISO, your aperture and your shutter. So it is as simple as that to produce a perfect picture. So if we look at it in close up, that cursor is dead in the middle. So if you're taking a picture of something, just make sure that cursor's just dead in the middle. Now, some of you are saying that is not specifically correct for the true lighting. In a way it isn't when we come back to the blacks and the whites, but we will look at that in more detail. But for you to get an understanding of your camera, make sure that cursor is dead in the middle. Now, this is your view in the viewfinder and you'll just see it just there. Okay? Now, even though you've got your picture focused, you've got your cursor in the middle, you can still get pictures like this. But what we want is pictures like this. Okay? So the reason why the picture was overexposed is because you need to understand one more part of the puzzle. And this is this area here, excuse me, this area here. And if you go onto that in your camera, you'll see these pictures here. So you have evaluated metering, partial metering, spot metering, and sometimes center-weighted metering. So what do they mean? Let's go and have a look. So let's take evaluated metering. So it's a nice picture, a perfect exposed picture of a nice scenery in the skiing area. Evaluated metering or matrix metering, depending on which brand you have, reads the whole area of your picture. So it's assuming you're taking pictures of landscape, or everything is important in the whole area of in what you're looking through the viewfinder. Now, it reads the information, it gives you an average reading. You push the cursor into the middle and then you'll get a correct exposure. It's roughly taking around 75% of the information from your image. As I say, it's called evaluated in Canon and matrix in Nikon. So let's have a look at the center-weighted metering. So the most important part of the picture here is the young boy. So I put mine onto the center-weighted metering. It takes all the information from the middle, so it's not interested in around the outside. It's taking around 45% of that information. So you make sure that cursor's in the middle and you'll get a correct exposure. If I used the evaluated metering, the The ray could either be overexposed or underexposed depending on the amount of light that's behind him. It's called partial neutral in Canon and center-weighted in Nikon. So let's have a look at Spot. Spot really is for your one subject. Could be a car, could be an item, it could be the young lad as we got here. Okay? So the middle part is the most important. It's called Spot in Canon and in Nikon. So try them out. I hope that's helped. This is a part of a 10 module program. If you have any information that you require, please go to digitalcameraschool.com or email me personally. Go to our website to find where all that information is. Thank you very much.